I said, all of my menus now for the rest of this meet will be in Spanish. I don't think there's a way. Let's look real quick and see. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to actually put it back. Give me 1 second. All right, thumbs up if you can all hear me now. All right. So we'll get started. I don't know how many more people may pop in as we start going. I am going to record the meet, so we'll put it up for people that want it when they ask. Okay. Yeah. We're going to actually go through a bunch of these other features, and I want to tell you that all 3 of these features, breakout rooms, polls, and Q&A, are teacher initiated. In other words, you have to start them, and you have to be the moderator of the Google Meet in order to be able to start them. When you click on one of these, what you will get is the ability to turn it on. Now, if you turn these on when you're in the main meet, that does not mean they'll be available in the individual breakout rooms. Okay, so you can have a Q&A thing going in the main meet, but if you want a different Q&A going in breakout room 1, you have to go in and turn it on in breakout room 1, which means I think you really need to design a little quick activity for students to do as soon as they go into the breakout room, so that you can quickly join each one and turn on whichever of these features you want to be available in those rooms. So the Q&A feature I'm going to turn on right now in our main room. Okay, so allow questions, it's turned on. And I always get the question when we do these breakout classes of how is Q&A different than chat? And here's how it's different. The Q&A feature is available anyone who joins the meeting, which means if I put a question in here, and I'm not going to put a question, I'm actually going to put a comment, that will be there if somebody joins us in this class 10 minutes from now. If I posted that same link in the chat and they join us 10 minutes from now, they won't see it. When you enter a chat, you only see what's in the chat from the point you enter the room until you exit the room. And then if you enter the room again after exiting it, the chat's wiped out and you see it starting again from scratch. So the Q&A feature does persist. You can also have the students thumbs up other students' questions, which gives you a priority list at the end of which questions more students agree that they want to hear the answer to. So right now they're organized by oldest first in the Q&A feature, but you could say most popular. And what would happen is the questions that had the most thumbs up votes would rise to the top, and the ones that the least number of students would be at the bottom. So teaching the students to use this Q&A feature to type their questions and then have other students upvote them will help you prioritize what's more important for your students to hear the answers to. Okay, it's sort of like a voting on questions. On the other side, we also have the polls feature. Now, all of these again are through the activities menu, which is up here across the top of your screen, like this. So I just click on the activities menu. I started a poll. I started a Q&A in the main room. Now I'm going to start a poll for you guys to ask a question or to do a poll. You also have to go to the activity feature and click on that tool. So here's the poll I'm going to start. What is your SEL level today? We're going to go with 5, awesome. 4, 3, meh. 2, 1, ouch. Okay, now I launched this poll. so that you guys can see it. When I click the launch button, I will get the option of whether or not you guys can see the results of this poll. So I'm going to turn them on for you. And now if you guys go to the poll, I am not presenting Erica.
Hey, John, sorry to interrupt. Are you presenting? Because I can't see what you're doing.
Erica just reminded me of that.
Yeah, thanks. I'm sorry.
So, but you guys need to be going there on your own right now too. So in the upper right-hand corner, you need to go to the activity pane up here, this one. And then you're going to go down to polls, this one, and you're going to be able to vote. So we have a couple 4s today, a couple 3s today. Okay. You would think with the political mess we're in right now, with almost the country 50-50 divided, that we'd have a few more 2s and 1s this morning. But so I'm usually a 5, but I'm going to have to go with a 4 or a 3 today.
Can I change my vote?
now that I reminded you.
Yeah, you make a good point. I was trying to forget about all that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's going to be. I was listening to one of the radio programs yesterday, and the casinos are taking bets on whether we'll know by Thanksgiving or by December 1st who the actual president is.
John, can you show us again how you did that? Because you did it quickly, and then I was trying to catch you.
Sure. When you're in your regular Meet like this, you have these 3 tabs up here. This is the people that are in the Meet. This is the chat room. And again, chat only shows up from when you enter the room to when you exit. You don't see all the chat. You only see what you're there for. So you got this, and then you have polls. Okay, and so I typed in a poll. I can create another one. Here, we'll do the unspeakable. All right. I don't know who she was. I don't remember her name. She only got 1.5% of the vote in a couple things I looked at, but there is a libertarian candidate for president. And then you could launch, and then you can show the results to people. Okay. Just so you know, before you answer this question, or if you choose not to answer this question, the teacher does get a spreadsheet which shows the results of all of these polls and who voted how. Okay, so you may choose to not vote in this one if you don't want me to see who you voted for. I just put it up there as a joke, so somebody already quickly put their answer in. So at any point you can end the poll, or you can delete the poll, and you can create and have as many polls running as you want. Okay, so I just wanted to show you those other 2 features that came along with the breakout rooms. The Q&A feature, feel free to go in there and put some questions in, and right before we end this breakout, I'll go in there and see what your top questions are, and we'll make sure we get them answered. So it'll be a top question because you can upvote other people's questions by clicking on a little thumbs up, and as you do that, this number will increase, and that'll help us figure it out. That link I pasted in here was not a question. It was a link for you guys to have, period. It's actually on how to filter Gmail, so don't worry about it, because it happened to be the YouTube tab I had open currently. Luckily, it was a safe one. You are not presenting during Q&A. I don't know what you mean, Erica. I'm presenting right now, and Q&A is up here on the screen right now. Gabby just actually asked a question that she's going to let you guys upvote on so I can answer them towards the end. So you guys do see this, right?
Yes.
Nod, thumbs up, answer yes. Okay. And I know you guys' protocol is normally to have your microphones muted when you're working with students. I honestly like it the other way. I'd rather have this be a conversation where when something pops into your head, you just share it by talking to me. So as long as you don't have a lot of background noise, feel free to unmute your mic. And then when you want to contribute, contribute.
Well, John, I have a question real quick.
Unfortunately, I say that as a diesel truck just backed into the loading dock behind me, and that's all I can hear. But
so, John, the kids will only know if there's a question or a poll, so they have to click. It doesn't show
Sarah, when you're not in this screen, up here you'll see a little dot on these tabs if there's new content that you haven't seen. So this means I haven't seen what Erica typed in the chat, although I did see it because it pops up on my screen separately. But that little dot will indicate to you that there's a new change. So like if I click on that and I see a dot next to Q&A, I'll know somebody typed another question there. If I see a dot next to poll, I'll know there's another poll question that's been asked. Okay, so that little dot is your and the student's indicator that there's new content in that feature. All right. So now we're gonna show you breakout rooms, and we'll answer your questions about them since this is the main point of it. I mean, we scheduled 45 minutes for the session, and we scheduled it early so that both high school and middle school teachers could attend. But I don't think we'll actually go all the way up to 8:40. And that's why we also included the polls and the Q&A feature in this class, because it doesn't really take all that long. All right, so breakout rooms. As a teacher, I click on breakout rooms. It's going to put me up here in the main call. It's automatically going to shuffle the students down here into the breakout rooms. I can instantly increase or decrease the number of student rooms that the students will be put into. And as I do that, it automatically reshuffles the students to try to keep the rooms as balanced numerically as possible. Okay. Any one of these rooms, I can click in here and change the name. So those of you who know me, know that I'm a fairly big football fan. See? And you can rename the rooms. So you can give your students a room that's kind of tailored towards the topic they're talking about. Or you can just leave them breakout 1, breakout 2, breakout 3. Or you can name them group 1, group 2, group 3. Whatever you want, you just click in there and change the name. You can also decide that Cynthia and Sarah don't get along and that you don't want them in the same group. And all you have to do is click and hold on the person you'd like to move and drag them to the room you'd like them to be in and let them go. Okay, so you can customize these rooms and put the people you want in each group, or you can leave it to random chance. What you can't do, and I think this was Gabby's question, but I'll go back to the Q&A and look later, is you can't pre-set groups to always use that way. So every time you set up breakout rooms, you're going to have to resort the students or do it. The names of the rooms be kept for future breakout activities. No, unfortunately, as far as I know, and I haven't heard Google talk about any changes to it, nothing you do in the breakout rooms can be saved as a permanent setting. Okay, everything has to be typed in. You can't even open up the Google Classroom and start pre-populating it because these people don't appear for you to put into groups until they actually join the meet. So you have to wait till the students are actually in the meeting room before you can divide them up. Okay. So like for instance, I don't know if you guys saw my screen, Liz Utzig just joined us. So you also know as a teacher, if you're in this breakout room screen, who joined late, because they'll appear up here in the main call and not down here in one of the breakout rooms, because it didn't automatically shuffle her in because she wasn't there to shuffle. So now as a teacher, I can drag her down here. You'll also notice if a student leaves the meet, and I don't think we have any of those, because their icon over here will go to grayed out. They'll still be there, but there'll be like a gray film over them. And so you'll know that they were there when you started to set up the rooms, but they left before you actually put them in rooms. Okay? So say these are the groups I want. I got 6, 6, and 5. We got people separated, high school, middle school. Okay? I could launch it now. I can also hit clear. Everybody goes up to the main call. I stay in this main call. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys into rooms, and we're going to ask you to do an activity real quick, and then we're going to come back. When we come back, I will show you a little bit about how as a teacher I switch to join rooms and how you can end the call for everybody that's in it. I can't show you that until I put you into those rooms though. Okay? I will pop in and join you guys in those rooms to see if you have any questions, but here's the activity we'd like you to do. If your name alphabetically, your last name alphabetically is first, so in our Dolphins room, it's going to be Gabby August that is starting this activity. In our Patriots room, it looks like it's going to be Patrice Delahanty, and in our Jets room, it looks like it's going to be Susan Burns that starts the activity. So once I put you into the rooms and you join, I want you to come down here to your 3 dots, and I want you to open up a Jamboard. That person who is designated as alphabetically first. When you open the Jamboard, you're going to start a new one. And then it's going to pop up this little screen here telling you that the people in your group need to have access. Make sure that you change this default from view to edit, because I want all of you on the Jamboard to add one Post-it note with a way that you're going to use breakout rooms with your students. Then when we come back, after you're done in the breakout rooms, I'm going to have you guys share your Jamboard so that Gabby, Patrice, and Sue Burns are going to share their Jamboard in our main meet, and they're going to show us the things that you guys came up with for ways you might use breakout rooms with your students. Okay, so those people will start a Jamboard. Each of you will put a Post-it note on it. So for that activity, I'm going to give you until 8. We'll give you a little bit of time. It's 8:20 right now, so we'll give you to 8:30. At 8:30, I'm going to automatically end your breakout rooms. You will get a pop-up on your screen that says return to the main room, and you'll have to click on it. However, if you have your Jamboard full screen, it will cover that pop-up. That's a problem that we have, and I don't know if Google's going to fix it, where that pop-up should come in front of everything you're doing. But for whatever reason, it comes behind. So at 8:30, you guys need to remind each other to look for that pop-up to return to the main room. Okay, so I'm going to send you off to your breakout rooms now, where you guys are going to talk about ways that you'll use breakout rooms with your students, and you're going to put a Post-it note in your Jamboard with one way each. If you're feeling prolific and you have a bunch of ideas, feel free to put more Post-it notes on as time permits. All right,
John,
so I'm going to
John?
yeah.
Hold on. I now forgot where to get the breakout. You
So
showed me, but I forgot.
it's up there next to your people pane, but I'm going to bet, Gabby, that when I click open rooms, you're going to get a pop-up on your screen that asks you to join your breakout room.
Okay, but what about the Jamboard once I'm in?
Your Jamboard is down here at the 3 dots, and open a Jamboard.
Okay. Okay, that's what I
Okay.
forgot. 3 dots. Yep.
Those Jamboards are by room, so each breakout room has their own one. If you wanted to start the poll or the chat feature in your breakout room, you would have to go in and start that as a teacher. So I'm going to come over to your rooms and open up the Q&A feature in each of your rooms when I'm there. But that's something the teacher has to do by joining each breakout room and opening up the poll or the Q&A feature if you want to use it in a breakout room.
How do you get into the breakout rooms from your screen?
I'm going to show you that afterwards. It's not easy for me to do right now. It's much easier for me to do after the fact.
Okay.
Okay, when I'm trying to present like this. So I'm going to start these off. 8:30. How you doing, Gail? I'm good. Technology's working this morning. We're able to do breakout rooms, so as long as that's working, I'm okay. Little confused, I said to the people in the class, with how divided the country is. I do care who is elected, but I was really hoping that it would be much more definitive than it is, one way or the other, so at least the country can say, look, we're supporting this person in what they believe in, instead of being equally divided. So I moved myself off of the 5 on the FDL scale today to the 4. Those of you who've already popped in, you may notice that as people leave their breakout room and they come back to the main room, it changes them from grayed out to a solid color, but it still leaves those breakout rooms intact over here on the right-hand side. Okay, so we have almost everybody that was in one of those breakout rooms back here in our main room now, except for Katie. So what you don't see now is the controls that I had as a teacher. Because once I end the breakout room to come back, we go back into the breakout room setup screen. So what I wisely did while I was able to see that screen is I took a screen capture of what that looks like so that I could answer the questions that you guys had about how do I join rooms, how do I leave rooms, how do I close down the breakout room activity. And so what happens is this breakout panel on the side that right now has the setup changes to this designation here where I can click join. You can see right here it says join. Okay. When I join a room, that join changes to the word leave. But I would suggest you don't hit that leave button because the leave button tosses you back up here into the main call, and then you have to join another room. When you want to switch between breakout rooms, just click the join button. It'll automatically exit you from the one you're currently in and join you to the new one much quicker. So rather than going back all the way up here to the main room and coming back to a different breakout room, you just click join on the one that you want to be in for that particular group and talk to. I did tell you as a teacher, when you join a breakout room, it automatically mutes your mic. So the first group I joined, I started talking to you guys and forgot that my mic was muted. And so I had to quickly unmute it because I was wondering why nobody was paying any attention to me. Okay, you can click this edit room button up here. What this allows you to do is you can change the name of the room, or you can drag a student and move them from the breakout room they're in to another one. So if you wanted to take 2 students from one room and move them into another and take 2 students from that room and move it back so that they could jigsaw between rooms, you can do that.
And do they have to, pardon me, do they have to, they don't log on anything, and automatically their screen will change and they will be with the other people?
No, they get a pop-up on their screen just like you did to exit the breakout rooms. It says you're being moved to a different room, join. So it's not an instant thing, Erica. They do have a choice to make. They do have to be aware that that pop-up is coming. Okay, so before I get rid of my snippet here, does anybody have any questions on this join or using the edit button to change the name or move people?
John, how did you do the screen capture?
I used a tool called Snippet, which is on a PC. On a Chromebook, you would have to use a different tool. There's a bunch of different extensions that let you do screen captures. So if you ask me later, actually, let me look and see. I think I can find one real quick here.
And John, you cannot record, the students cannot record the breakout.
No one can record a breakout room.
Mm-hmm.
Even the teacher can't record the breakout room. Nimbus Screenshot and Screen Video is the Chrome extension that does the same thing as Snippet on a Windows. So if you're using a Chrome device or a Chromebook, Nimbus Screenshot is the one I use to do screenshots on a Chrome device.
Okay, thank you.
You can take an instant screenshot just by pressing 2 keys on a Chromebook, but then it goes into your Google Drive, and it's not as easy for you to quickly bring up and show. And you can't draw on it. Whereas with Nimbus, you can do what I did, which is draw little things on the screen capture.
John, what is it called again?
Nimbus Screen Capture. It's this one right here.
Wait, where? I'm not. Okay, I was writing when you were doing that. How did you get?
Gotcha.
How'd you get that menu?
Hey, hang on. I'm going to solve this problem.
You're going to give it to us. You're going to give us all. There we go. All right. I'm adding that sucker right now.
So what I did is I went out and I did my quick internet search. I found the direct link to the extension, and now I pasted it in your chat. So if you go to your chat and you click on that link, it'll take you right there where you can install Nimbus Screenshot, so the extension. Okay, so you don't have to write things down, Gabby, and do it later. You can just click on that in the chat. All right, so what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to pop over here to our activities, and I'm going to see that I've got some answers on our polls. So we can see that today we're mostly 4s and 3s on our social emotional learning scale for our poll. So that's, I'm going to say, pretty good. Okay, we're happier than not, although we do have one ouch today. I hope your day goes a little better as it progresses. So try to find some time to decompress and relax, whoever the one was. And we have 2 of you that, after I warned you, your names are attached to these polls when you get the spreadsheet that said you voted for Biden, and nobody wanted to fess up as a Trump voter, but half of us in here must have voted for him. Well, maybe not in New York, but
Not in New York.
yeah. So anyway, so those are polls. I'm going to come over to Q&A. Oh, we got a bunch of Q&As. Good. So 4 people upvoted. They're at oldest first, so I'm going to switch them to popular. So Gabby's question is there a way to establish breakout groups ahead of time? And the answer to that is no, there is not. Unfortunately, you have to even wait until all of the students join the main meet before establishing those breakout rooms. Because the students won't even appear for you to sort until then. So I can, as a teacher, check this as I've answered that question. Or I can say hide this question because I don't think it's appropriate for the group, and then you guys won't see it. You'll see it on my screen because I'm sharing, but can you share the same screen to more than one room? No. You have to join the room, Cynthia, as a teacher in order to share any content you want with it. Doesn't appear that Cynthia is still with us. So I should have gotten to her question a little sooner.
No, I'm still here. You just can't see
Are
me.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We must have more than 16 people. So as a teacher, I can come up here to change layout, and I can slide this tile thing over here to 30.
Hey, John.
I like Kyle's
Now I
question.
see you.
Hey, John, quick question about that. There's no way of defaulting to that tile layout because every time
Nope.
you've got to sit there and redo it every class.
Yep. Yep. Hey, look. Look at where Google Meet was when we were in our hiatus last spring. And look at where Google Meet is now. Okay, so the nice thing is Google is constantly reiterating their product, and they're putting features in, and they're not charging us to do it like Zoom and all those other companies are doing. So, you know, it'd be nice to have a few more things, but they'll get there. The way that they do, by the way, is if you click on the 3 dots in your Meet, and you come down here to say report a problem, that's what they use to build their future features. Is when they get those reported problems, they tally them by problem, and those are the things they move to the top of their list to fix.
Hey, just one quick question unrelated to what the layout I see now that you're doing. It looks like you're presenting on top and you see multiple people below it. Is that a setting too? Because when I present to my kids, I only have the tiles on the right and I only see like 6 kids.
I'll tell you, I think it's based on the size of the monitor you're using, how much real estate is available.
Gotcha.
So I agree with you that up until now, I used to see them only on the side, but I think when I have this Q&A pane up over here and stuff like that, that it changes, but it may be a change that Google made because you guys are appearing much larger to me and my content is appearing smaller over here than normal.
I only see 4 or 5 kids on the right. And I just see a big screen of what I'm presenting, which I really don't need.
Yeah. Yep. No.
All right.
So let me go through the rest of these questions real quick. Notice, by the way, it automatically defers to oldest first. And you have to keep switching back to popular if you want them ranked by vote. Okay. Will the Jamboard stay to the teacher? I answered that, I think, in one of the breakout rooms. The Jamboards aren't shared with the teacher by default because they're not in the breakout room at the time the person set up the Jamboard and said, give editing rights to these people. So it is something that you will have to have the students either share with you, or you can post a classroom assignment and have them add their Jamboards after. Okay. And I know we're running out of time, so I want to get the rest of these questions, and then you guys are going to report back on what you guys did in your meet. Do we have enough bandwidth to have our in-person students log into the Meet for breakout rooms? It's a good question, Kyle, and the answer is, for now, I'm going to say yes. I did receive 2 warnings from IMS yesterday in 2 different meetings that I was in that we're maxing out our bandwidth, but they did put a provision, I guess, in the contract they signed with our vendor to move us from 3 gigabits to 10 gigabits if necessary. So they're I want to say prepared for this, but our more than 50% of our traffic yesterday was Google Meets traffic.
John, I missed the beginning of your answer to that question about the bandwidth, because my internet cut out. I am discovering that it is not always the limits of spectrum. It is sometimes communication between the Chromebook and Spectrum. Vanessa helped me with that a little bit yesterday. But so how did you begin that answer? Is it?
The answer is yes. At this point, IMS says yes, we have enough bandwidth, and they do
Yeah.
have a provision to more than triple it if necessary.
But I might not because I'm not on campus.
Correct. I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, I only asked because the last week I tried to do one with my whole class, and the instant everybody joined, all of a sudden everybody at school started spinning, and we got cut out for like 15 minutes, and I don't know if it was what I did.
We had 2 internet outages last week. One was at 8 in the morning, and one was right before lunchtime.
Yeah, that was one before lunchtime when it happened. So I didn't know if it was coincidence because as soon as every kid logged in, it went out, and I was like, oh no. I think I just broke it.
No, and I don't think either of those outages were Shen related. I think they were Eastern Seaboard related outages. So, I mean, the good news is we're not screwing up. The bad news is there's more people doing this across the entire world than ever before.
It was a wild coincidence because they literally just everybody entered, and all of a sudden it shut down, and the kids were like, I think we broke it.
I tried to do this class at this time. Was it last week or the week before? And that's when we had the outage. So, I mean, it happened to me. It's going to happen. And, you know, we're going to have to be Marines. We're going to have to adapt and overcome. And we're going to have to be really resilient and flexible. I know it's hard, but it's the world we live in right now.
Hey, John, I have a question. If you're putting the kids in breakout rooms that are physically in the classroom, if they all turn the meets on at the same time, they're going to get feedback. So is the only way to do that is for all of them to keep their sound down and muted?
Yeah. The other way that we suggested to teachers, if you want students in class to participate in breakout rooms, is to have them bring headphones that have the inline microphone. Those microphones are much more localized, so the sound isn't captured from the rest of the room. It's really just captured from around that student. Then also to make sure that you don't put kids into breakout rooms that are seated physically next to each other in the class. So if you have 3 rooms, one up in the front, one in the back corner, one in another corner kind of thing. So you have to physically isolate them from each other when they're in the room, and you have to have them use a device that doesn't capture wide sound from the room, like a set of headsets with a built-in microphone.
All right, thank you.
Yep. So no, you can't view more than one room at a time. All right, so we have 3 groups. We have our Dolphins, we have our Jets, and our Patriots. So our Dolphins group, if one of you, preferably the person who started it, would present your screen and bring up your Jamboard. And then each of you can share with us. We have a couple minutes. I know we're right at our buzzer, so we're gonna have to do a quick summary.
All right, I'm sharing. Okay, so that's are we seeing our Jamboard?
We are.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we had 2 science teachers in the group, so it's obviously useful perhaps for doing lab groups and small group work, reassessment, accounting problems. Yeah, I need some help with accounting problems. Take turns reading and summarizing, and pair and share. So those are the.
So all those I'd summarize probably as you're looking for breakout rooms as a way to return to small group work, which is something that's hard to do physically in a classroom now because of the students interacting with each other. So, all right. So thank you, Gabby. You can go ahead and stop presenting. And our Patriots group can put up their Jamboard real quick.
So we talked about literature circles, peer editing.
You have to present your screen for us to see your Jamboard.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I know you brought the Jamboard up. You just didn't present your screen. So.
Okay. Can you see it now?
We can.
Okay. Yeah. So we talked about literature circles and peer editing, reading groups, pair shares, and then lab groups for biology. Michelle talked about 2 groups for a digital lab, business, case study questions, and not sure yet.
Okay. So we got a couple more think, pair, shares. We got a couple more small group works. We got a couple more lab people. So we're all thinking the same way, which I guess is a good thing for the most part. Go ahead and stop presenting, and then we'll get to our last group. Coincidentally, there are 0-8 group, the Jets.
Yeah, why do I have to get the Jets? Come on. Okay, I got this. I can do this. Hold on here.
So present your screen, Sue.
Yep, I will. I'm going to.
Okay.
All right, now I go back down here and I go to that. It wants me to choose. Okay, hold on. You can see what I'm trying to do. This is just so maddening. Let me get rid of the stupid little pop-up that's blocking my access to the little dots. Okay, so I clicked on the Jamboard thing. So it says start anew or I guess choose from Drive.
You can use the choose from Drive in this case.
Okay. And hopefully it'll be like right there under recent, and it is. Oh,
That's just going to share it with all of us. That's okay.
Yeah, no. I just don't understand why it didn't just open to display.
Hey, so guys, if this pop-up occurs to you, that one that she just had there, that says opening Jamboard or opening Chrome, that is because she's using a Chrome device. And on a Chrome device, you have two choices for how you can do a Jamboard. You can do it using the web version of Jamboard, or you can do it using the app version of Jamboard.
Oh, that's good.
If you watched my video, there are different tools available in the app version than in the web version. So you need to really make sure with your students, you know which tools you want them to be using for that activity, and tell them to choose the right choice when that pop-up appears on their Chromebook. And not to choose always use this one, but to choose the just once to use this version.
John, can you put your video app before we leave?
Can I put what?
You're recording this one now, but you just made reference to Susie that if you looked at my video, can you put the link to that video you just referenced in chat, please?
No, I wasn't referencing a video. I was referencing the pop-up that she got on her screen.
Okay, I thought I heard you say if you looked at my video. Thank you.
Yeah.
John,
Okay, you should be able to see it right now.
I think she's referring to the video that you made recently for Shen Track, where you were describing the difference between the two options for a Chrome device.
For Jamboard? Sure,
Yeah.
certainly. I'll look for that while Sue's group is explaining their posting.
Oh, we need to explain. Yeah, so my brilliant contribution was this is scary because I just wasn't really awake enough yet and hadn't tried Jamboard before at all. So my instant reaction was terror, but it's not too bad. And then I got lots of good help from my group members in knowing how to find and make this sticky. It's just the stupid little icons on the left don't look like much of anything. So they need to be more obvious. Anyways, yeah, so the coolest idea, I mean, I love all of these, but I really like the Connect CVL and in-person students, because I think that's a challenge for a lot of us. But there's tons of other good, have more like even just getting, like I'm looking at the one about Spanish, just getting kids talking more about what we're doing and learning so that they're more actively engaged. This could be great for that.
Yeah, the ability to pair a CVL student with an in-class student, I think, is an awesome idea because it helps promote that socialization aspect that we're missing right now in the world.
And a lot of CVL kids tell me that they sometimes feel disconnected. And so that would really help. It totally would.
Yeah, just remember you want kids to be wearing headphones for the in-person classes because you can't have 4 different meets going in your room with 4 different mics and 4 different sets of speakers because that'll cost you.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Just make sure you think about that. And almost all of these kids have a set of headphones that came with their cell phone that they can use in most cases. So keep that in mind. All right, I don't want to keep you guys much longer because obviously we're already about 6 minutes over the time we did. Hopefully we got to most of your questions. Hopefully you got a good idea of what breakout rooms are. Know that Vanessa and myself are always here for you, so just drop us an email and we'll be glad to talk to you, help you, troubleshoot with you, test things with you. whatever you need to be successful. So adapt and overcome, and have a better the rest of your day, whoever was on our 1 scale on SEL.
Quick question, John.
Sure.
Can students in a jam work together on materials that are posted in classroom? Like, let's say there's a slideshow they're supposed to work on together?
Depends on how you shared it with them.
Okay,
So like when you assign things in classroom, Gabby, you can assign it to specific students.
okay,
So if you have groups ahead of time and you want them to have a template that only that group can work on, you would need to put an assignment in classroom and say, Bobby, Susie, Johnny, and Al are sharing this. Students can edit this file singular, and you would make a copy for them. Then you would make another copy of that template and share it with Liz, Patrice, Sophia, and Becca.
okay,
Right? So you have to post the assignment multiple times.
okay,
But the quick way around that is to post it once and then use the reused post feature and just pick different students.
okay. There's another thing I've tried is to make 6 copies of a slideshow, let's say, if that's something they're working on. And I
Yep.
name them group 1, group 2, etc.
Yeah,
And then they open the one that goes with their group.
you can do it that way too. You're trusting them that way to do it and not going to one of the other presentations,
Right.
but either way works.
Hey,
Okay.
Jonathan, a real fast question about the other pop-ups.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the Pear Deck one, the 10 o'clock Pear Deck session says, please bring a Google slide presentation. And then at 1:45 to 2:30, it does not say that, it just says Pear Deck. Is one like,
Same presentation, same requirements. That's why
Okay.
they're in the same one box in the table.
okay, all right,
There's
just
two
want to make
different offerings because the times that we offered it, one is available to middle school teachers and one is available to high school teachers, but not vice versa.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Yep.
John,
Thank you.
John, when you made comment about the students in the classroom physically need inline headsets, that's something they have to provide. It's above and beyond what came with their phone.
We don't provide them. They don't come with their Chromebooks. If the student has a cell phone, almost all cell phones come with one out of the box.
Okay. And
So they
that's
probably have a set.
So-
I mean, a large number of our students, our students are somewhat more privileged at Shen than a lot of other places. Some of them have Apple EarPods, those work. But realistically, what we're talking about is a $5 investment. At Staples, they have earbuds with a mic in them that are $4.96.
all right. So I can do a little survey and find out about that. Thank you.
Yep.
This was
Yep.
great. And when will
All
this recording be available?
It'll be on my YouTube channel. It takes a while before Google exports it.
Okay. And you put the link for the
I put
Other-
the link to Jamboard one in there. I did it at 8:50.
yes,
So if
I
you
got
look back to the chat, you should see the YouTube link. It's right underneath V where I meant to hit Control V and actually hit Shift V instead.
it. It's there. Thank you.
All right.
Yep. See
All
you
right.
later. Bye.
Talk to you later.
Thanks, John.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Susie.
See ya, take care.
See ya.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I'm wondering if I can start any of these breakout things or if John is the only one. Oh, I can ask questions. Some of these questions are from, hi, John.
Hey, I
Your
forgot to
sec-
stop my recording, so
Oh,
I got out the door.